get away here. Shot blocked here. On to Dybala. Excellent piece of defensive play, under some pressure, I must say. Corner's taken. That's frustrating to the coach. Typical Ronaldo, he wants to take them on. Matuidi. Well, that's when you need a defender to show his class, and he's done just that. De-Bruyne. He might have put his teammate in here. He fancies his chances of getting past these players. Aguero! And such quality. Gabriel Jesus. Slipping it through. Just the keeper to beat. He's right in. Oh, it's a tremendous goal.
Well, he's only been on the pitch a matter of minutes. I'm not sure he's touched the ball before this, but a vital touch there to score. Well, it doesn't make pretty view in this, does it? Look how he's just...
Alright, so today I'm doing this analysis for the game I played online using Man City versus Juventus. So I'll be highlighting some of the good moves that I did or my opponent did, some defensive mistakes, so that you can learn how to avoid those mistakes, and also to look at some of the good defensive skills that I displayed in this particular game. So stay tuned and learn how to win online games. Alright, let's get started.
Middle of midfield.
So yeah, I'm just highlighting that when I was using Sergio here to defend, he had 4 options to run into, but of these 4 options, there were 3 good options, and I chose the 4th wrong option, which was to run to this player here, who is already being covered by De-Bruyne here. So I had an option to run towards the player and mark him tight so that he can make a mistake, or try to cover the wing here, or try to go back and cover this player who is standing alone here.
Field, Raheem's.
Look how I ran this side, then realize that this end is actually exposed, and I try to still run with Sergio again back to here, but it's too late. You can see Fernandino is much closer to this player than Sergio. And also the other thing I would have done is I would have tried to maybe press the offside trap key so that Fernandino can run inside and the rest of the players can run inside and be in line with this player and expose this winger here. But look at what I did here.
Sterling starts up with Sergio Aguero.
Then realized that it's too late. Then I started controlling Fernandino, but it was already late. And here, look how I'm exposed, and how good this player realized that there is an opening here and gave past the ball to this particular guy here. Luckily, it was an offside, so but it was a big mistake that I made there on defending, so it would have been 1-0 at this point.
Offside given, Alan.
Oh, I'm not sure he's got that one right, you know. I think he was on.
Now Fernandino. It's Christian.
So at this point, I just want to highlight a few points here. First thing I want to highlight is I can see the opponent's formation. So you need to be on the lookout of times where you can actually see the opponent's formation and see its strengths and weaknesses. So the strength here from the opponent is that they are keeping a nice, good high line here, and they are putting pressure on my defenders here, on my attackers here, and also here they are putting pressure on my defenders here. So I cannot go back and pass to the defenders. So I have less passing options. But what also the options that I have, the opportunities they are opening for me is that you can see the winger here. So their back 4 is sort of in a narrow format, so they are exposing their wings. So I have 2 options actually in the wings. And also here, if I do quick passing with my defensive midfielders, I can have an opportunity to still pass into my 2 attackers here, because you can see this whole area is not covered by any of their players. They are doing good to put pressure on my defensive midfielders, my defense, but here they are leaving it a bit exposed.
Cristiano Ronaldo against Raheem Sterling.
So here with De-Bruyne,
could be a key part of the
I passed to this. Let me just go back a bit.
match. Ronaldo against Raheem Sterling.
So with De-Bruyne here, I had two options. One was to pass to Sterling here or to go back to Zinchenko here. But if I pass to Zinchenko, look how covered this player is. It will be very difficult to then go anywhere to the front here. So it was a bad decision that I made to pass to Zinchenko here. I should have passed to Sterling, and Sterling have Aguero open here. And also the moment I pass to Zinchenko, you can see that Rodri is already making a move to also help the attack here.
Could be a key part of the match.
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo, he is.
Look how my defensive midfielders go in and try to put pressure on the back four here. So we see here my defensive midfielder is coming here to open an option here. The moment he opens an option, obviously the opponent is going to change, and it's most likely that when he does a normal change or a normal switch of player, he's going to pick one of these two, but they are already behind my player here. And also I have Aguero, who is already making a move towards goal here. So I'll have two versus this one player here.
He's known for his heading, his ability to get.
Look at how this player has opened up. Silva have opened up, and now it's a 2 versus 1. Silva and Aguero versus this defender here. So the good choice that this player would have done is selected this defensive midfielder a bit early and make him run faster to cut the passing lane here, but he did not do that.
Get up.
Look how he is standing and watching.
Early.
Dybala.
Look, when I'm defending, how my player, I have actually set him to drop in between the defensive line. So what he does is, the moment we lose the ball, he tries to run as fast as possible. And I also sometimes select him and run with him straight to cover, because I don't want to expose my defenders. So what I will then do is I will use my defensive midfielder to do the marking, and these guys will only be there to pick up any loose balls. Look, I made him run all the way to here. Then I realized that now I'm in front of the player with the ball, so I have to turn and start marking this guy. But I'm trying to also cut the passing lanes, so that the only option that is left with this guy is either to go back to these players or to try and throw a through ball to this guy. And my two defenders will then try to capitalize on the loose balls.
And he could get a...
So here I realized that I changed a bit late to Stones here, to John Stones, and he's not faster than Ronaldo, so he's behind Ronaldo. So what I try to do, look at how he's trying to pull Ronaldo here. So he's trying to pull him, but if you try to do this with players like against players like Neymar, he's going to dive. So you have to be very careful and make sure that you don't do that, especially in the penalty box. So you have to try and pull him before you reach the penalty box.
Could get away here.
So he harasses him, then that gives Fernandino a chance to also get closer here and try to also cover, and also the keeper to come and cover here and put pressure as well here. So you see Fernandino ended up taking the ball, but at the same time you can see that Fernandino was I wasn't controlling him, I was controlling John Stones, so I had to use the contain button also to call Fernandino to come and contain the player as well. Look how much pressure they are putting to my defenders here. It's very, very difficult for me to even go through to the defensive midfielders to try and distribute the ball. So I have to sort of like play around with the ball here, try to find an opportunity. Look how exposed their wing is. So I have two players here who are not even marked. Look at how this player, where is he going? So at this point, what the opponent should have done, instead of controlling this guy, should have seen that this guy is in control of the situation. If I try to pass to these players, they are quite covered with this defense, but this wing is exposed. So what you should have done is use the analog stick to try and change. Instead of using the normal switch player button, should have used the analog stick to try and change to either this player and that player and already start making a move towards this direction. So yeah, I think I did well. I guess it was a good option to shoot, but also look at how open this player is. I should have probably tried to do, a tricky pass to this player here so that he is all alone facing the goalkeeper and try to place it in the near post. But I think it was a good option to shoot without Sterling there. So this is to just look at how much pressure I am putting on my opponent. So look, I'm also doing the same. These two defenders are marked. This one is open, but you can see here, Silva. I have selected Silva. Now I'm making him to run towards this guy here to put pressure on him. And this guy, obviously it's AI. He's just going to come and cover here. So the only problem is Rodri here. He's standing all alone. He should have also tried to come and cover this. So the thing I can do with this defensive midfielder so that he can realize those options and mark the opponent is to maybe change the marking option to man marking instead of covering the or cutting the passing lanes. I should probably use the man marking. Look at me also making a similar mistake with my opponent here. Look how open this guy is, and he's running. I'm seeing him, but I'm still selecting this guy here. I'm still selecting this is De-Bruyne here. I'm still selecting him. What I should have done is maybe use the analog stick, select this guy, and also make him start running toward this direction.
Miralem Pjanic.
But to make use of any of that passing option. So let me just go back a little bit here.
Matuidi. Miralem Pjanic.
So look how many options my opponent has. He has an option to put a through ball here, put a through ball there. This one he can't pass because he's closed by my defensive midfielder here, and also this one is picking up this player as well. Fernandino is picking up this player. This player is open. So I had an option to close this player or to cut the passing lane. I think the best option was to cut the passing lane. And also maybe select this guy and which is Shimsheko. Instead of running toward this player, I don't think he's posing any threat at the moment. I should have not run to him because I'm exposing this whole area is now open and I can give him an option to throw a through ball to this guy here. So I should have actually selected Shimsheko also to just remain here to cover anything, any through ball.
Manage.
Look how exposed I am here because this player ran to Guidado here.
Neatly in.
But that gives me also an attacking opportunity here because I put pressure on the opponent. He made a mistake. Then I had an option. So it's basically a 4 versus 2 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of my players versus these 2, or maybe you can call it 4 versus 3, including this one. But there's no way this one is going to cover anything there. So here, I just want you to look at this again and see the mistake by my opponent. So he realized that the situation is against him, and the thing he do is he tries to slide my players multiple times, and all the times he was missing the slide. He was mistiming it. Let's see this again.
Carrying the ball forward, it's the Manchester City.
So players.
Well, here's a chance. The press work.
Look, there is the first slide. So he's 1 player down now. Now, instead of being a 4 versus 4, it's now 3 versus 4. Then you realize, okay, I have missed it. Now, the numbers are in his favor, but he still continues to try and slide my players. I think it's something that when he's now already used to pressing this slide button, he thinks it's the best option to still keep on trying instead of trying a standing tackle. This defender was a threat, but now because he slides, he's not a threat anymore. I completely ignore him.
De-Bruyne.
Look, he's here. If he tried a standing tackle, he would have maybe recovered much earlier and covered Silva here. I had an option to pass the ball to Silva because this player is already late, but I decided to just go with Aguero because I know Aguero is really, really good, especially in this 18 area box. Actually, anywhere from the 18 area box, he's really good, especially if you place it to the near post.
Aguero! And it's in the net for the goal. Well, now we'll see what they're made of psychologically. They've got the lead. Remember, promotion is guaranteed if they hold on to that lead. And I'm sure the opposition have a right go at them and try and prey on any nerves in these closing minutes.
Yeah, and you don't want to leave it to a later day to achieve promotion. They've got a great chance here, and I think they're going to take it.
Then you realize that he's losing, and he changed his formation. His formation, I think, was really doing great. I don't know why he had to change it. Which formation he's now using there, but it looks like he's using 4-5-1.
Dybala. Miralem Pjanic.
Look how good this tackle was. So if I decided to slide, it was probably going to be a penalty, or he was going to miss the player. But look, I went for the standing tackle. Let's just go back a bit.
Good reading of by anticipating the pass. Sami Khedira. Miralem Pjanic.
So to do that standing tackle, it's just tapping the shoot button. So it's not the long standing tackle, it's just the normal standing tackle, the short standing tackle where you just press hard on the ball. So you just tap your shooting button.
The keeper stops it. There could be a follow-up now. Pjanic onto Dybala. Excellent piece of defensive play, under some pressure, I must say. Pjanic onto Dybala. Excellent piece of defensive play, under some pressure, I must say. Cuadrado.
So
now Cuadrado.
Let me just go back a bit.
What a great save that was. I mean, listen, if he had let that in, this game was almost done and dusted. As it is, kept his team in it.
Look, Cuadrado is alone. Shimsheko is running to mark him, which is right. But I think at this point, Shimsheko is quite close. I should have left him. Because here, look, I have 1, 2, 3 players against my 2. So what I should have done is tried to cut across the passing lanes here. Select Rodri or De-Bruyne and try to cut passing lanes here.
Cuadrado.
Look, my player is beaten. I'm still selecting him, Shimsheko. So at this point, I can see that Cuadrado is going either to pass the ball to this guy, or that guy. So here, I should again have selected either De-Bruyne and Rodri to cut this passing lane, or even if you wanted to run with the ball through here because it's quite an empty space here. I don't have any of my players here. I should have actually cut him also here.
Now Cuadrado.
Look, I selected too late and he is already behind. At this point, what I would have, after realizing that, what I should have done here is to select one of these because there are 2 against 1 and this one is unmarked. I should have tried to run across with Fernandino here. Again, using the automatic switch button is not going to help because it might select this player and you leave this one even more open. So I should have actually used the analog stick to the right and just select Fernandino here.
Cuadrado!
So I did it, but it was a little bit too late. So I ended up considering.
Super goal! Problems. Need to win, of course, to get promoted today. No longer leading out.
No, and I think they've asked for that. They've actually sat back and invited the pressure. They've been made to pay. They haven't stayed on the front foot.
Half. Trying to stretch the opposition using the wider areas here. Here's Aguero. Got away from his man. There's another. Trying to stretch the opposition using...
I want to look at how a sliding tackle, a mistimed sliding tackle can actually affect you negatively.
The wider areas here.
So he's more than 2 meters away. He tries to slide my player. Obviously, it's not gonna reach, and I have enough space to calculate what he wants to do, so I can just go around him.
Here's Aguero. Got away from his man.
Here, Fernandino is behind Ronaldo. Ronaldo is a very fast player. But look how I tried to use so I used two things here. The first thing I had to use when I was far is to try and catch my player. You can see here, when he starts his move, he sort of tries to do a hard tackle. I wasn't trying for a hard tackle. I was trying to and pull the player. So...
Well, they're getting the ball forward. They need to do that. Cuts it out nicely.
Look here what Fernandino does. There. He's trying to aim for to start pulling, but he was a bit too early because he's still in front of the player. That's why he did a hard tackle.
Typical Ronaldo.
Look. So I used that standing tackle again, or the pull button. Then he sort of throws himself in front of Ronaldo and used the skills button to just shield the ball.
He wants to take them on.
Here's Sterling. Slipping it through. Aguero. Giving the ball away now. Yannick. Whip it in now. Find it in low. We had a chance really to put that into a much more dangerous area. Had to go down as a poor cross. Here's Sterling.
David Silva. Sterling. Good one. Oh, he has given the penalty. What a chance now.
Well, that was a lazy challenge, and it might end up costing his team the match here.
I don't know what formation he's using now, but look at how much it is exposing him now. I think he's trying an attacking formation.
And now a throw-in.
You see there is the back four, midfield four, and there are two in front here. You can see it on the radar here. 4-4-2 looks like it. That should be avoided at all costs. I mean, with your keeper, it's just not an option. And I'll show you I'll upload one of the videos where I embarrassed my opponent actually. I think 2 times. He was trying to run with his goalkeeper. Every time I was just catching him up, sliding tackle him, or just doing a strong standing tackle, take the ball, straight away hit a shot, and all of both attempts ended up as goals.
Well, Clearance then. Matuidi. Well, that's when you need a defender to show his class, and he's done just that.
Yeah, just
De-Bruyne. He might have put his teammate in here. He fancies his chances of getting past these players. De-Bruyne! And such quality in the build-up. A brilliant finish. A wonderful... Here's Bernardeschi. Good distance to the clearance then. Matuidi. Well, that's when you need a defender to show his class, and he's done just that. De Bruyne. He might have put his teammate in here. He fancies his chances of getting past these players. De Bruyne! And such quality in the build-up. A brilliant finish. A wonderful goal. A very good side in a very good position in their attempt to win promotion. Victory today will give them this early success in getting out of the division, and now the scoreline reflects how good a season it has been for them.
They've looked what they are, a classy side today, and that's been the story of their campaign, so it looks like they're there.
Well, there's still time to get back in this game, and they're going to try and do it with a substitute. On the attack with real gusto a moment or two.
To try and continue to cover Cristiano Ronaldo here. It was good, it was bad. It was good because also the defense, it would have been a 2v3 if I used John Stones, for example, to cover Ronaldo here. It would have been now one covering this player and nobody covering this one really. It was bad to the extent that he was already behind Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is a fast player, but Silva also have pace as well.
2 ago.
Look, I left this whole side because I know he's probably going to try a ground pass, then I'll cut the passing lanes, or he's going to try an aerial pass, which I can try to cut with my keeper. And also, it is very difficult to hit an accurate volley. So I was taking my chances there. I tried what I wanted to do.
In the end. And in the shot go! Really good.
He had options to cut inside and to... But he decided to strike a shot which wasn't going to work.
Defending.
I want you to look at this pass, this particular pass from Gabriel Jesus. Look, he's here, he receives the ball. He's marked by this player, but look at how he runs into space. So this pass can be executed by pressing your player switch button and passing the ball. So the moment he passes to this guy, he passes and runs into space. Look at how quickly he runs. So here I press at the same time the switch player button and the pass.
Gabriel Jesus.
Then look, he runs into space.
Slipping it through. Just to keep with the beat. He's righted. Oh, it's a tremendous goal.
Well, he's only been on the pitch a matter of minutes. I'm not sure he's touched the ball before this, but the vital